Biddy Low. She's a co-editor with me at publichouse.sg, but Biddy is 10 times more creative than me. She sings, she writes, she draws, she teaches arts classes, she does reports, she edits videos, a whole lot. So please put your hands together for Biddy Low.
Thanks, Andrew, for raising expectations in an already very tense situation for me. Good evening, everyone. Do pardon me, this is my first time on stage speaking, so if I fumble, do forgive. Oh, thank you. Yes, I'm short. My name is Biddy, and I write for publichouse.sg. I'm sure like many of you here today, I started out as a reader of online media. And I remember how an article about the homeless from the Online Citizen appeared on my newsfeed as I was doing my generic Facebook thing, super poking my friends and sending them virtual beer. And pardon the pun, it was a sobering moment for me. I was later inspired by another story of the foreign workers situation here, and I stepped out of my comfort zone and became a volunteer. And from there, my path up to the stage took on a very organic path. I joined the Public House team, and I don't consider myself a writer, an intellectual, or an academic in any way. I wondered how I could contribute, but I realized that I could contribute just by experiencing firsthand and interacting with people of interest that the mainstream media would never report on. By just experiencing and forming my own opinions, and then sharing it with people who did not have the luxury perhaps, or the liberty that I somehow managed to go into that next step. I was there to provide them with the information that they sorely missed out growing up here. As much as I gave, I received tenfold from the community. I saw my unfounded fears melt away. No one enters this without fear. But to know, to feel so empowered and to not feel fear anymore is something that I cherish dearly. And the travesty of my old ignorance was also redressed. This is not something you turn back to, ever. I am immensely proud to be part of this team. We are one of many websites and blogs online who strive to report fearlessly and truthfully as we can. Because we believe that's what Singapore needs, a wide range of opinions and perspectives to encourage critical and independent thinking. I've always believed in a better Singapore, because we must always keep moving forward. Better informed, more discerning, a thinking nation. One that does not rely on the government to think on our behalf. One that does not dismiss alternative views as madness and only listen to one source. Because no amount of academic and economic excellence is worth so much subversion. We can never be complete if the people do not feel in charge of their lives. And it starts with an idea and an opinion. And that's what we're here for. MDA. And the government, so eager to paint us as an unruly, petty bunch of people. Stupid enough to go against them, driven by nothing but small, minuscule reasons. I am here to state unequivocally that that cannot be further from the truth. It is impossible to paint us all with one broad stroke, and it is offensive, severely offensive to everyone who has worked so hard without pay, contributing their time, contributing their money, contributing their effort to make this work today. Shame on you. For years, before the internet equipped us with a way out, we have had to put up with a sense of resignation. Life as a citizen in Singapore was one of a spectator. We look from outside in. They tell us what to do, we do it. We have no outlet, and whatever outlet we had, it had no consequence. Looking at the crowd today, I believe that is soon to change. I certainly felt that way, a palpable sense of helplessness. And I see it with people that approach me. People who don't know what I do, but they know that I write online for a website that reports on politics. They come up to me with only 1% of knowledge on what I do, and they call me a troublemaker, a dissident, and crazy. I have a name for these kinds of people: loyal Straits Times readers. Cause dude, I do the music section, man. I don't even do that many political stories, so that's ridiculous. At the end of the day, I don't really care about taking sides, because this is bigger than Singapore politics. It's about making the most of the life we have and being able to impart with confidence the values and ideals that we believe in, of truth and honesty. We are taught as children of the importance of such values. We are encouraged to dream and have a sense of wonder. Yet, we grow up into a world where these values are trampled on, where information is distorted to suit the government's agenda, where we learn to accept the reality handed to us as final and inalterable. We can take charge, but within their paradigm. We can create, but it must be based on their pattern. Excuse me, I'm not interested in your pattern. This licensing regime, introduced by the MDA, has stirred up a lot of emotional and fundamental anger in me and a lot of other people. Not just the ruling itself, it has been iterated enough today. It's also about how it has been dropped on us without consultation, without parliamentary debate. A friend expressed his surprise that such an unprecedented regime can just be put in place so easily. I jokingly replied, they like to build expressways so much, they built the biggest one over Parliament, so that they can drive through whatever law they want over the heads of our elected MPs. If they are the highway, we are the ERP. We, as a group who believe in an inclusive and engaged Singapore, cannot abide with such an offensive and intrusive law. Neither will we settle quietly for assurances that hold no weight should the regime be one day used on us. It is not as though the government has proven itself to be trustworthy. And given the vague terms of the ruling thus far, and the lack of concrete answers to our questions, we are more confused than ever. Trust is earned, confidence is built. This is what I teach kindergarten kids. So stop whining about us complaining on your lack of logic. You may have the power to impose this law into our constitution, but you cannot impose your lack of logic into our awakened consciousness. Free my internet. Thank you very much. This is very validating. It's asking specifically, Free My Internet is asking specifically for a transparent process
We wish for the licensing regime to be withdrawn because we want it done the right way, with consultation and debate. In case some of you are still lost and ask why? Because after the 2011 elections, we were promised change by our Prime Minister no less. And we want them to make good of that promise. Where are the results of the past 2 years of engagement? Surely there must have been some insight into the concerns and fears of the people. From the unfortunately timed white paper proposal to this current legislation that so obliquely ignores our fears, it's as though none of us has spoken about anything for the past 1.5 years. But I don't blame the government. They are, after all, out of practice when it comes to talking to us. Perhaps then they should just go back and revise on their comprehension skills rather than repeatedly imposing codes of conduct and ridiculous laws on us. We are doing fine. Last two pages. I timed it well. It is said that a lesson will continue to present itself till we learn from it. I didn't get this from some Atta's book, I got it from Facebook memes. This is such a chance, Singapore. And I am heartened that with each opportunity we get to speak out, more are finding their voices. Thank you very much. We have come together today in solidarity to show that this liberty we enjoy is not a liberty we take for granted. It is not hysterical to ask for due process in passing of a law. It is not paranoia when all we have for security are verbal assurances from irrelevant and irrelevant ministers. It is not unreasonable to defend an ideal. Yes, we want to read the right thing. But first, let's keep the internet free and make the mainstream media. Thank you.